12. Minnie Stevenson, 5 News.
Joining me now are royal commentators Kate Williams and Robert Jobson. Thanks for coming along tonight. Kate, first of all to you, why do you think there's been such a boost? Is it just the Jubilee celebrations, or have the royal family really reinvented themselves?
I think the royal family have really been soaring in popularity. The royal wedding was the big start. I mean, I think that almost took the royal family by surprise about how well it was received, how much it was global news. And then the Jubilee that was so successful, of course, the Olympics have, really, the coalition government, I think, were hoping to make a lot of credit out of the Olympics, but really all went to the royal family. And then we've seen the baby announcement. So really, their popularity, I mean, the Queen's popularity really is as high as it was since when she came to the throne in 1952. So they really have turned their fortunes around.
And really modernising too. The Queen, of course, doing her Christmas message in 3D this year, and we also saw her almost jumping out of an aeroplane. Well,
absolutely. I think one of my highlights, really, apart from the Queen doing 3D this Christmas, will be that memorable moment when Daniel Craig, James Bond, walks into the palace and she stars in that TV role, which I'm sure no one ever thought they'd see.
But it wasn't always like this, was it? I mean, if we look back to the 1990s, the Queen's annus horribilis that she talked about then, how much have things changed since then?
Well, yes, you're exactly right, Tessa. I mean, if we look back to the 1990s, the complaints that the Queen didn't pay income tax, the separations, the divorces, and then, of course, the tragic death of Diana and the fallout with the royal family, I don't think we would have perhaps imagined how high their currency would be now. Then I think a lot of people were actually indifferent or really actively negative towards the royal family. But that's really, I think, the younger generation have done a lot for the royal kind of reputation. The Queen is very popular, but also people see Diana's mantle, I think, as inherited by William and Harry, and they say, OK, that was tragic, but Diana's dead, she's in the past, and now William and Harry are really the next generation. So
interesting, though, there's been a whiff of scandal. I mean, Harry in Las Vegas, and then, of course, the topless photos of Kate. How have they managed to get away? How has Harry got away with it?
Well, I mean, I was reported back in the 90s. The stories were huge. You had, adultery in the royal family, all sorts of scandals played out on a very different media. With Prince Harry, the story really wasn't that serious. I mean, it's a blip, I think, in this great Diamond Jubilee year. The topless pictures, I think, were very unfortunate for Kate, but, it's ended on a high note. She's pregnant, it's a great year, and it beckons another great year in 2013.
So, Kate, what do you think the Queen's going to be talking about in her Christmas message this year?
Well, she probably won't mention the pregnancy because I think they didn't know when it was recorded, but what she will talk about is this really year that I think it's been a bumper year for the royals. And it is almost as if we're so fascinated by them, we're also fascinated by what goes on behind closed doors, so there's even more interest in Harry's pool party. So I think she's going to say about the Olympics, about the Jubilee. I mean, it's really, we are a country, of course, in recession. It's been quite a hard period for the United Kingdom, but people came together. And I think what was really wonderful about the Jubilee was the fact that so many people across Britain came together to celebrate with their neighbours, with their friends, with their families, with their community. It was a time really for social bonds, I think, which was really heartening.
And finally then, Robert, how do you think they can top this next year? What are you most looking forward to?
Well, I think they will top it. I mean, with the royal baby being born, it's going to be right up there, I think. That royal wedding was an incredible achievement in 2011. Next year, I think the whole world will be watching to see who this little boy, little girl is going to be appearing, and that child, of course, one day will be a future monarch, whether they're a girl or a boy.
Which is a big change and a big moment, I think, in British history. For years, it's been boys only.
There's a lot to look forward to. Thanks very much for joining us. Coming up on 5 News.